Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys reviewing Season 7 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And yeah, like I said, today we're just recapping what went down in Season 7, what we liked, what we loved, what we hated, what we didn't like. And before we get into all of that, though, we got a couple of shout-outs. Shout-outs from Apple Podcasts. We got a 5-star rating and review from Julie Runslayer78. Thank you so much. We gave her some legit laugh out loud moments. I'm so happy that we could do that for you. And we also have to give a shout-out to MJ Sums. Thank you so much for your 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review. We also got a shout out our longtime OG homie Slither Ann for getting us some stuff off of the Amazon wish list. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you, Slither Ann. You're a ride or die till the end. If you want to get your own shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it, send it to us any means possible, or get us something off of that Amazon wish list. Wish list.
Bonus shout outs. We're in that round. We don't have any more Buffy episodes to do.
I know. I was going to say, we usually saved the shout outs for after the recap episodes, but
oh man, that was always crazy. Over. We'd have so many shout outs in the beginning.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, the ride is over. And today we're just doing a look back at this season. What went down, man? What happened? What went wrong? What went right? What we loved? But before we even do that, we got to take it a little bit further back. I'd say 23 weeks, in fact. Oh, and you cracking that motherfucker. I got to crack mine too. Hold up. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah,
are you on the C4? Are you on the C4 scheduled, or are you on something else?
I'm on something else for today. I'm on something else. I'm not even going to say it. Not even going to say it.
Not even
going to say it.
Joe's streak of not drinking booze has just come to an end. Finishing
Season
Buffy.
7 did it to me. Season 7 Buffy did it to me. We're going back to 23 weeks ago when we did our Season 6 recap. And we made a bunch of predictions at the end of that episode about what would happen in Season 7. And this is us holding ourselves accountable, seeing what we got right, and where we took a big swing and hit a lot of air. Mm-hmm. So, who shall start off with our Season 7 predictions? Do you want to go, or should I go, Vance?
I'll go. I haven't even looked at these in a while, so...
Yeah, this is the first time I've looked at these since we made them.
Yeah. Let's see. I said that Buffy saves the world again and dies.
Oh.
50%.
50%.
Buffy gets a non-fast food job. I said that. Possibly in an office. Workplace hijinks ensue.
Dude. All right. Yeah. Nailed that.
Yeah. Xander becomes a literal angel, possibly a guardian angel.
No.
And let's not mention Guardian.
Oh, we're going to be mentioning Guardians today.
Okay. I said that Willow starts a good witch coven with Amy the Rat using only pure magics.
Wow. Well, there was a good witch coven
There was a
Amy
Good
the
Witch
Rat
Coven.
was a part of it, but
she wasn't.
She was evil.
Yeah, Amy the Rat wasn't part of the Good Witch Coven.
I thought that what was she doing there that one episode when Willow showed up with Kennedy?
I thought the Good Witch Coven was the coven that was in London.
Oh. I was thinking about
of that
the
group
one that was in the college.
What was that college? That was just the Wicca group, though. That was learning more magic.
Well, they were learning more, and Willow was proud with their progress. But there is the coven that Giles was hanging out with.
And then Willow did become a goddess for a second. She was glowing white. Guess. She was glowing white. I don't really care that much. I'm not fighting for these predictions. We don't get any real points for this. I said Anya tries to quit being a vengeance demon and it doesn't go over well.
Oh.
All right, that nailed that one.
That fucking, you nailed the shit out of that one.
Dawn becomes a slayer in training and gets a human boyfriend. It's close. It was close. Yeah,
I'll give it 25%.
Here's a big one. Faith makes a cameo.
Oh, yeah, I nailed that one.
You could take it even down a notch because it's more than a cameo.
Oh, yeah. No. No, Faith is in it.
Yeah, Faith
for
is
like 5 episodes.
Here's where I go off the rails again. Oz shows up to get help with a werewolf crisis. Would have loved an episode like that. Would have loved it.
I miss Oz.
Would have loved it. And this is a sad one that didn't come true. Giles partners up with Ethan Rayne for one last adventure. Ethan Rayne is literally just in jail after that episode.
Yeah. Yep. What a sad end to such an awesome character.
There were like other villains on the list.
Initiative jail.
Yeah.
Well, you did pretty good.
I got some good
predictions, man.
I got some good ones,
yeah. All right. Here's what I predicted. First, I said there's a Spike redemption arc. He feels bad now that he has a soul for all the bad stuff he's done, but Buffy doesn't take him back. She forgives him, but the other Scoobs have a harder time with it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
I pretty much fucking nailed that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Number 2, Willow redemption arc. She gets forgiven much faster and easier than Spike, but she feels bad about it all season, and they'll need to lean on her in a crucial moment, and she'll come through.
Holy shit, dude. That's perfect. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like hearing you say it while thinking about the season playing in my head, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They will have to lean on her at a crucial moment, and she will come through. Yeah.
Man. I mean,
that's not obvious, but
that's not that hard of a prediction, but
yeah,
that's
you worded it just perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And now I have Xander and Anya become friends, but don't get back together.
Dude, that's a good one too. They aren't technically back together.
See, I was confused like by the end in the last episode, like
they were close.
You know, he's calling her honey. They had sex. I don't know if they're actually together. And then Xander's like, that's my girl or whatever.
Yeah, because they have sex, but then she hangs out with Andrew that next episode and barely hangs out with Xander. So it's, yeah, I'm not going to say that. I think this is good. I don't think they're fully back together. All
right. Well, they're definitely not. I mean, Anya's not even all together anymore. All right. Next up, I have Dawn learns how to fight, goes on more missions with the Scoobies.
Really should have happened. I am so. It started with lessons, and then they were like, lessons? You're not good. You're not good at this.
Lessons was the intro of her fighting, but then they just dropped that, and then she was just a regular person.
Yeah.
So
I really thought she was going to get integrated into the. I really thought it was going to be a Dawn season.
Yeah, me too. I thought that she was going to be. I mean, she was better this season than she had been in previous in terms of like being annoying. But
they just made her like, you just are super research girl now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do what Willow used to do and what Giles used to do.
Yeah. And finally, the last prediction that I had that is a big miss is that Buffy dies at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment when she got stabbed where I was like, uh-oh. But
then you realize it's but a flesh wound.
yeah, then you realize that there's 4 more seasons in comic books, and
yeah.
So that's I did pretty good. We talked on the Angel podcast, which is on Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatching Buffy, about how I do a lot of the last one for Angel. I did a lot of basic bitch predictions. These were kind of basic bitch predictions as well, but then I got more specific with them.
Yeah. The specificity is what makes it great.
Yeah. Like that Willow one, my eyes got big as I kept reading that. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. All
right. There we go. We have any random thoughts or anything, any corrections or follow-up from the last episode?
Yeah, I have so many. Yeah, let's do a little bit of this, and then we can get into the like favorite episodes and the listener poll. All right, so actually, you want me to go first on this?
I'll go first.
Do you want to swap back? You want to swap back and forth or whatever? Do a little.
So as people may have noticed, I'm not being as active on Discord anymore. But there was one thing that I needed to set straight, which is absolute lunacy to me, is that whole Spike waking up from the dream saying, I'm drowning in Cool Whip or footwear. Now, I watch this shit with the closed captions, and I take them as gospel, and it said Cool Whip on the closed captions. And I heard Cool Whip. You heard footwear.
Yes, and I watch shows with closed captions, but I don't watch Buffy with closed captions because I use headphones when I watch Buffy. So I'm like, it's a little overkill when I got the headphones. I'm getting it directly into the eardrums, right? So I went back and listened to it twice, and I didn't hear it the first time. I wasn't sure, so I went back and I heard, I'm drowning in footwear.
Uh-huh.
And then you said you read the captions at Cool Whip. And I was like, that's fine by me. Because I was just like, sure. But now we're having
that Yanny Laurel thing.
Yeah.
A gold dress, blue dress situation.
Well, it's really, it's a remaster issue. Just to bring that back. Isn't it so insane that like, I could hear Cool Whip and you could hear footwear, and those things sound nothing alike? That's not insane, because I posted in Discord. It's like that color test where you have to like say the color of the letters, but the words are yellow. The word says yellow, but it's in green, and it's hard for your brain to see yellow and hear green. And like once someone says something sounds like something, you can hear it. Like a lot of songs where people are saying the wrong lyrics, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was this because I read that. It makes total
Thunder Jeep.
Yeah, it makes total sense. There was a whole plot point in a season of Search Party that had to deal with like mishearing something too. So
is that the one with Maybe from Arrested Development?
Yeah, when they're in court. So it makes sense that you saw Cool. Why would you see Cool Whip and not even think twice about it? One, it's hard to hear in general, so I don't blame that.
That's the thing is, I heard Cool Whip too, and like other people heard Cool Whip.
Oh no, it's the internet's confused by this.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Whedon says it's footwear though, and footwear makes more sense.
It does make more sense because of how they talk about, Buffy's talking about how she wants to get shoes the next day after the apocalypse, and somebody also, I believe, said that like Spike is buried under Cool Whip or footwear or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the reference. I didn't really care. Like for me, it's a throwaway line, but it is funny that the confusion that you go online and people are like, Ashley said footwear, and then they show the screenshots that says Cool Whip.
Yeah, my screenshot said Cool Whip, and then somebody else posted a screenshot that says footwear, and it's just like I feel injustice.
I feel like if he would have said I'm drowning in Nikes, I could see Disney or some branding place say, oh, we can't say Nikes or we can't say a specific brand. But because he says footwear, why change that to Cool Whip?
No idea.
It's a weird
one.
one.
Idea, man.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to first follow up with, because I was like, this was a debate, and it's so crazy to me.
I love that. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous.
So bizarre. Yeah, man. But so I just wanted to address that. I saw that going down. I was like, actually, he says footwear. And I was like, fuck no, dude. I saw the screenshot. Yeah. I went back and I got that screenshot. And I was like,
as soon as I saw you posting receipts, I was like, oh boy.
But yeah, so that was the thing that I wanted to follow up on. Yeah, Hulu, Disney, you're fucking with me. Yeah. Remaster, fucking with me.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Nothing as serious as that. Just we never got an Amy the Rat and Willow showdown, and I thought that was a little disappointing. I mean, some of this stuff could be for like what we talk about the whole season, but just this season alone, it seemed like they were going to get a showdown after the whole Warren thing. It didn't seem like Amy was done with her payback.
Yeah.
I thought maybe, hey, let's like utilize Amy the Rat for her witch powers, let's bring in a like an extra person, a secret person that you don't expect is going to show up, and then it's like boom, force powers, and you're like, oh, Amy the Rat redemption, great.
Yeah.
Amy the Rat could die. She should die saving them or helping.
She's gone, dude.
She should die helping.
She's gone.
Oh,
that would have been more. I mean,
no, she left. She left. Yeah,
she definitely left. Yeah.
She's no dummy.
Yeah. Then there was the whole not controversy, but the whole thing about get out of my face being a double entendre with Buffy telling the first evil to get out of my face because, number one, like the first evil is like in her face in terms of proximity, and also in her face in terms of impersonating her, like wearing her visage as its form, which I was like, okay, I get that it's a double entendre. I still don't really like it.
It's my issue falls on why would her saying that make the first evil clutch her pearls and go, oh my word, I never, and then just disappear. It's like, just be like, yeah, I can do it. Fine. You want this face? Turn into somebody else. Turn into an angel. Do something,
Yeah.
Like
somebody.
I heard that was like trying to get him to be that, or trying to get Glory to come back, and it just they couldn't get people cast. I mean, just turn into some
conflicts and stuff.
Just turn into another potential. I don't care. It's just you're the first evil. First evil sucks. That's the first thing I say. First evil sucks. Spoiler for the villain. The worst villain. The first evil is awful. The plans are awful. The power is awful and inconsistent.
Let's do a general thought overview, which I think we did maybe at the beginning of the last episode. But like, how do you feel about this season as a whole?
Not great. Inconsistent.
Yeah, pun intended here. Lots of wasted potential. A lot of good storylines that seem like they could go somewhere, and then they just go to places that I was like, why did it go there?
I wish this season would have focused on the core four and then Dawn and Spike more than the potentials. They could have had the same ending without having a house full of potentials, because they decided to do that anyway and just show other potentials, even though we were under the belief that the last of the potentials were in Buffy's house, and that's why she had to save these girls, and that's why they were in danger, but apparently there were more. So if those girls died, then it didn't matter. And then we spent so much time on Principal Wood and Spike and the mom thing. Like, focus on the core group. I want the dynamic of the core. And then they actually throw Faith in there if you need to. But yeah.
Yeah, Giles saw Sal's young, like, softball girl was, and was like, I'm not going to burden you with this. I'll leave you be in Illinois. And he saw that one girl that her dad was beating her up. And he's like, I'll leave you at home to get beat up by your dad. You'll be fine. What a irresponsible watcher, guy, kidnapper of teenage girls.
Yeah, Giles is a watch of girls.
Yes, that's he absolutely is.
And I worry he wants to find these other ones. He's gonna.
Our work is not done, Buffy.
it doesn't make sense for him to go to China to pick up one of them if there's going to be if there's more people across the world.
And how does the first evil not fucking kill those little girls? It's so easy to kill those little...
I know. My question is also what makes someone a potential and how is Dawn not one?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Any other just random thoughts and stuff?
I got another Discord thing that we had that came up actually was the pronunciation of Bangle or Bangel.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been calling it
Me
Bangle.
too.
And some people said they have, but it definitely should be Bangel.
It would,
but I'm going to call it Bangle because I like to say that. And
I'm going to call it Bungle because
Bungle because
it's a fucking bungled romance, and we gotta give Buffy more letters. All Buffy gets is the B.
Yeah.
Angel gets his whole name.
Yeah.
Fuck that, Bungle. Buffle.
Fuffy and Baith. Fuffy and Baith is where it's at, though.
Real fucking shipping is.
and Spoofy.
Yeah. You know why people...
Was Riley... Did Riley get one?
Biley? Riley.
There's got to be some Bileys out there.
Yeah.
Some Ruffies. Some Ruffies. There's dozens of us. Dozens.
All right. Well, let's get into the actual shit of this episode where we're recapping our favorite episodes, our least favorite episodes, and all that stuff. So I normally am one to go hate first and end on a good note. I didn't do that for the Angel podcast because I was fed up.
Because you love it so much. You're so brainwashed.
So,
all right.
Let's start with our least favorite episodes of the season here. I'll start. I'm going to go with it. You all know it. End of Days. Just way too many story plot points introduced with one episode left. The Guardians can fuck off forever. I hate that so much. And then it's not even brought up again in Chosen. And then the return of Angel and the kiss. Ugh. Hated it.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I just... End of Days, probably one of my least favorite episodes of the entire series.
You had a rough time with that one. And that also has Giles acting out of character, swinging the scythe around, eating the Jaffa cakes. It's just, they're just like, hey, this is our second to last episode. Let's just do whatever we want.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Like, I could go on about those Guardians for forever, but I won't because I've done it quite a bit. But just know
those episodes are long. Our last couple episodes were long enough.
You guys get the point.
I know you probably have. I'm gonna pick one that I know you might have, but I know you have this other one, so I'm gonna do it.
I have 4 for this.
I'm gonna go with I have 4 and some honorable mentions, and I can float around with this, but I'm gonna go with. Okay, let's just do empty places.
Yep.
Yeah, let's just do empty places. All right, fine. Empty places. Buffy getting kicked out is just so illogical, so bad.
And it gets worse.
And then
because they bring her back
afterwards.
like 2 seconds
later. It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't pay off the way you think it's gonna do. And Dawn kicking her out makes no sense.
Yes.
Principal Wood.
So we vote.
Thank you, Principal Wood, for doing it, because that is a favorite bit of people's.
No, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, and as much as people hate that I have this belief, I think that Buffy, like, people did have some concerns and they wanted to, like, take some more time to discuss. And I know that Buffy even says we can take time to strategize and figure some stuff out, but we got to go back to the vineyard, which ended up not being, well, actually Buffy did have to go back to the vineyard to get the scythe. But
so she was
yeah,
also
she
right.
was kind of right there too. But I felt like they had some valid concerns, especially Rona.
Oh, absolutely.
When Rona's talking about like, why the fuck are you defending Spike so hard? Like, that makes sense. Faith coming off very level-headed.
Because the fans like him.
Xander coming off rather level-headed for a guy that just got his eye poked out, coming back from can't even fucking walk. He has to be limped in there. Like, it makes sense why there is a little bit of dissension in the ranks. But to kick Buffy out of her own house and for Dawn to be the kicker, ugh.
And for Dawn and Giles to be like, we're cool with Faith leading us. After what we know about Faith, man. The history I had with Faith, they're like, I've had some history with Buffy. I throw that all out the window. The history I have with Faith.
The girl that just broke out of prison.
Yeah. For murder.
Yeah, she seems like a logical choice.
And the worst thing is also Giles lets Faith take the potentials to the bronze while Caleb and the First Evil and the Bringers are on the loose.
And
insane.
And then it just gets worse. It just gets worse. Because then Faith just takes the boss role and she's like, you're following, like, does the same things Buffy did.
Leads them into a trap.
Yeah.
Potentials die. Yeah, Buffy, it is hard. Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
It's like they forgot all about the Thunderdome.
Yeah, man.
There's a way to do it without them turning on Buffy that way. I don't know.
So here's another one that I have. Get It Done. That's the one where Buffy trashes Chloe for killing herself. Kennedy calls her a maggot, and Chloe's like, that's it. I'm fucking done.
And can I say, this is the episode, I've had this discussion on Discord. This is the episode that made it seem as though the First Evil can hear everything at all times. Because quotes verbatim Buffy's voice through Chloe, what she was saying to Principal Wood. And the First Evil is not there in that scene. Yep. And it literally is playing a recording of Buffy's voice.
Yeah.
So, and that is why when I say don't talk about stuff in the house, because the First Evil can hear it, is based off of this. Like, you establish that the First Evil is always omnipresent in hearing things. So, I don't know.
The First Evil isn't there. It's not seen, but it's like presence is always around. Like, that's crazy. And
later, it knew everyone was having sex, too, while it was still in another place. It just...
Yeah, that was nuts. But, like, that speech that Buffy gives about Chloe being dumb and weak and stupid and I'll bury you next to her. Like, I get that they were trying to be like, hey, this isn't funny business anymore. But this also comes after First Date, where Giles was like, this isn't funny business anymore. And everyone was like, Giles, get the fuck out of here. And then I think it's like the next episode is Get It Done, or maybe 2 episodes or something.
Some pushback that I've heard is like, well, she does realize she's going too hard at the end. She says that to Willow. Never addresses that to the potentials. That, hey, I probably shouldn't have said you guys are all worthless. Fast forward to the end of the season. Buffy's like, hey, living room speech again. I'm actually going to give you guys all powers because that's what you kind of needed to do this fight. I don't know why I thought you guys could do this otherwise. You're strong enough. Actually, we're going to give you Faith and Al's powers. That'll help.
Yeah, so that episode, pretty tough.
Yeah, that's also the Shadow Men episode too.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, they go into the Shadow Men realm, and we find the awful origin of Slayers. I wish the Slayer origin wasn't as dark.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there wasn't that to it. I know they're trying to I just wish it was like more mystical and weird and creepy, but not like a against your own will sexual assault.
Yeah.
metaphor.
Yeah.
I just don't need that to be like the thing that's been on Buffy for 6 seasons before this, you know, or any Slayer.
It's a bummer to find out that that's like how it comes. Like, because if I would have thought about it, I would have been like, oh, they like imbued, like the girl just was randomly with the powers. And
why couldn't she have gone through a trial like Spike did to get his soul? And the first Slayer is more of a heroic figure that they can like look up to, and like she was noble and she sacrificed her.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get what they're doing. I
know what they're doing, but
it's a reality that you know women have to face and everything.
Yeah,
it's a bummer.
And Buffy keeps one of her sexual assaulters in her house with her.
Yeah,
so it's just gets a little weird there.
The waters get a little muddied.
Yeah. All right. We've talked about all this stuff before, so this is the
we've
recap.
Done full episodes on
it. Have we? Did we miss one? We just skipped that one. All right. The Killer in Me is one that I have.
I didn't have that one. Why didn't?
That is where Willow turns into Warren, and Giles is revealed to not be the first evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you didn't like that one. That one didn't really bother me as much. I thought it was like, all right, whatever. I wasn't on the...
I think I'm on the ride of that one until it gets real heavy with the fairy tale kiss at the end. And that ending. And
well, it's also like the only time that Willow really deals with or talks about Tara. Like otherwise, like she doesn't really fucking talk about Tara at all. She talks more about like, oh, I went dark. Oh, I went dark. She keeps mentioning that, but she doesn't like reconcile a lot of like the emotions that she has to be feeling, that her love of her life, because Willow moves on real quick.
Well, and Get It Done at the end of that. That's after Willow brings Buffy back from the Shadow Realm, and she had shocked Anya and her.
Kennedy.
And Kennedy. And then Kennedy's like, I'm going to go to bed by myself. I did not like seeing the dark side of you. But then the rest of the series, she's like, I'll tether your kite. I'll be fine. I was like, a couple episodes ago, you were really freaking out about that. But that was also after you kissed her as Warren to change her back while she was pointing a gun at you. Kennedy's very forgiving of things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think if I kiss someone and they turned into some other person and then waved a gun at me, I might put the brakes on that relationship.
A little red flag there.
Yeah. And then later they electrocute me. I'm like, all right. And then they keep talking about like, I go dark. I go dark and I go crazy. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah. This house is
going to go back to witch therapy or whatever you were doing in England.
This house is full of women, and maybe I take my chances with another one of them. You know, like you're not really.
That's hilarious. But okay, yeah. I mean, I can see your argument. That one I felt like was pretty middling to me.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna get some hate for this. The last one that I have here on my list is Chosen, the finale. Did not enjoy it. I didn't think that it was a fitting end. After we talked about it, like, and you explaining like how shitty Buffy's plan was, like, yeah, that makes so much sense.
And the first evil's plan is like
dumb,
non-existent.
First evil's been dumb. Like, let's get that straight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like an end. The angel stuff is whack. Like, dude, the angel stuff. If you want to hear me go off, I get a little unhinged on the season 4 recap of Angel on our Patreon channel. Like I got heated about some of this Angel stuff. There's no payoff for the Dawn and Joyce thing, which people are like, oh, that was just the first evil fucking with Dawn. It's like, everything else got a payoff.
Well, if it's the first evil fucking with Dawn, it makes the first evil
because
it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't lead Dawn to like, I mean, there's a couple of episodes where Dawn's like, hey, the first evil told me that Buffy isn't going to choose me or whatever. And then it's just like swept under the rug.
The most we get, I saw on Discord, was that Buffy goes, when Giles says, would you kill Dawn or would you let Dawn die to save the world? She says yes. It's like, okay. But that doesn't even happen in front of Dawn. Dawn needs to overhear that and then think back on the joys, and then that needs to lead to something. That's just narrative storytelling. Like, that's just it. You set that up.
I also think that Cassie's prediction feels hollow with the, I love you to Spike or whatever. Like, I feel like that's really hollow. I don't know if it's...
I feel like they planted a seed that they didn't want to pay off because they wanted to do the ambiguity thing.
Yeah. And I also did...
Take a stand, show. Take a stand. It's the finale. Take a stand. Pick... Are you teams Buffy or not? Just say like, yes, you want to. They just did that little thing with both Angel and Spike where they're like, maybe
they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, it's like it's a finale, man. Make a choice.
Well, Buffy's not ready for, that's the ultimate choice. Is she's not ready for a relationship. And like I can understand, like,
It's been 7 seasons though.
Dude, I can understand the whole thing of like, you can say I love you and not mean like romantically, like I love you, like, you're the best, you're my best friend or whatever. But like, that's not what we were going for, Yeah. And then another thing that I mean, I don't really know if this is, but Spike saves the day. He's the one that destroys the Hellmouth, not Buffy. And it's from an amulet from Angel's series, where Angel did nothing to earn that amulet. It's just given to him. Like, it sucks. Like, that's so undercutting of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I think on Discord, some people's headcanons made him be like, well, none of this he would have been down there if Buffy didn't keep him around the whole time. And if she didn't come up with the plan to go down there and fight thousands of vampires with 50 people. And it's like, that's just, to me, too much of a... I get it. If you want to enjoy the show for the emotionality of it and everything, fine. We're not trying to take that from you. When we bring this stuff up, I think we're bringing it up as this is why we couldn't connect to certain things on an emotional level because of the stuff rationally that we were questioning while watching.
Yeah, like I understand like there's like the emotional stuff of like every, empowerment, the empowerment message.
Yeah.
And like I said in the review of that episode, like I can give some grace for cheesiness for like, but it's number one feels very heavy-handed and it's like an emotional manipulation to blind you from the fact that this episode sucks. Like it's not very good. Like you can feel all the emotions and positivity of that emotional message and see all of these women getting their Slayer powers and all that shit and feel like, yes, this is empowerment. This is what women need and all that stuff. But it's blinding you to the flaws.
Well, it's like if you do a montage and you put music behind it, you can get in some like uplifting words. Of course, you're going to get the emotional thing. Now, when I'm watching that, it becomes tricky because I've been following this whole season, not loving the potentials, but thinking that the potentials were the last bastion of hope, the ones that are in the house. And then we cut to a montage of a bunch of potentials that are elsewhere. And the first thing my mind goes are, wait, there's more potentials in the world? So I'm thinking of that while this epic speech is coming up and the thing. So it's taking me out of the emotion. That's my thing. It takes me out of the emotion because now I'm questioning like, wait, I thought they were all in the house.
Yep.
Like just don't have the potentials in the house before. And then I can believe, okay, all these girls around the world are getting it. But now I'm like, wait, what is the first evil's plan here?
Dude.
Why is she attacking these girls in the house when there's like thousands of them elsewhere? She should still be out there killing them. Caleb should be on the road, man, with this blind bringers.
To be fair, there's no saying that there is thousands in the world. We only see like 3 more of them. So if there's headcanon of like, but there's only those 3 more in addition to this.
One seems to be getting up from a table that's like in Japan. Like it seems like it's one of those like low seated tables, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we only see like 3 or 4 of them. If that's all that there is left,
I am too afraid.
Then fine.
I am too afraid of the Buffy fandom to have put Chosen on this
I'm not afraid.
Also, Chosen didn't make
I'll take the hottest of hot takes. I just think, I don't know. I just don't think it's very good.
I will say this. I think Chosen isn't a finale per se. it leaves Buffy off in an interesting spot, but it's such a continuation. And I've seen shows that end and it's like, oh, there's still going to be more story afterwards, but this doesn't feel like it's a finale because they keep things so open-ended with Spike, so open-ended with Angel. Like, they don't really settle any of the stuff that they set up. But the first evil is still, I don't know. But we talked about that. You can listen to that episode, whatever. I did put Touched on here.
Okay.
I didn't fully like, because it comes right after Empty Places.
Yeah.
And then Faith just acts like Buffy, and I'm like, wait, so they're just gonna fall right back into the same thing?
I feel like there's some like couplings that you could, like, I could have End of Days and Chosen as like, that's one episode, and like Touched and Empty Places could be a nice pairing too. Yeah,
because then Giles again starts acting out of character and slits a bringer's throat who was chained to a wall and had more information. Buffy gets the scythe very easily, and then the bomb goes off that doesn't kill everyone, and it's just a nice little nonsense cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got any more least favorites? Because that's my whole list.
Yeah, no. Let's do the survey. Let's see.
What did the people, the listeners,
the people's least favorite episodes? Killer and Me, number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, people weren't loving. People don't like Kennedy.
Oh, that's true.
Spoiler alert: people don't like Kennedy. And then Empty Places was number 2.
Makes sense.
People don't like our girl getting kicked out of the house. Doesn't make sense. And fuck the Scoobies. And End of Days,
number 3. All right. I wonder if we like changed people's minds on that episode, or if there was people that liked it.
Discord. Nah, Discord was not down for End of Days. Discord was agreeing hard. Right. It was weird. Yeah.
All right. We were kind of on point with some of that.
Yeah.
But let's get positive. Let's flip this negative Nancy train around and talk about our favorite episodes. And I think that we're going to be pretty simpatico on a lot of these. So let's just get this off of the bat. Conversations with Dead People.
Yeah.
Fantastic episode. I remember watching that episode and knowing that it was going to top my list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't even, that's like episode 7 or something. I was just like, yep, this one made it.
Yeah.
And they had their like, I distinctly recall them doing like the title card, Conversations with Dead People. And I was like, oh, they know they're in their fucking bag with this one. They know they're doing it right. That's a flex.
That's a Vance Tucker episode.
Oh yeah. It's got it's got Webbs talking to Buffy, giving her some much needed therapy. Willow talking to Cassie Newton, who is like trying to manipulate her and thinking that like she's Spike. I will say the Dawn and Joyce mystery, which was intriguing.
That she's Tara. Oh
yeah, Tara. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
The Dawn and Joyce mystery, that was intriguing at the time.
It was a great little, like, I know you like horror stuff, and it was a great little horror mini thing. It doesn't pay off the way it should be, which I think would be great if it did, because the Webb's Buffy talk is kind of thematic throughout. The Buffy won't choose you thing seemed like it should have been a bigger deal. That's what I was really latched onto, because they set the seed. And they set the seed with Cassie, like, hey, your power's so crazy, it might just go off the rails. And that kind of nerfs Willow throughout the season.
And it also has that insanely creepy visual of Cassie Newton like eating herself, which we never see again. Like for the rest of time, the first evil just disappears as like a TV blip,
or turns into that weird ghost thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the chemistry between Webbs and Buffy. Like it was so good. It was jokey when it needed to be, but then they also hit some hard hitting like topics.
And you get Evil Spike reveal after he had a soul biting a girl, and you're like, what is this? And that's a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger that.
And then you find out it's a trigger and
Vance, no.
Yeah. All right, I'll throw one out there. I like Potential.
Really, the Dawn one?
The Dawn one. It's actually a pretty solid one. It's got the Xander Dawn moment at the end. We introduce Amanda.
Yeah, I didn't have that one.
Who's eventually going to come
I didn't
in.
have that one, but that would be an honorable mention. That's a good episode.
Yeah. And Buffy takes the Potential to a demon bar, and Clem shows up again. So there we go.
Yeah, that one was fun.
That was just
exploring like the deeper meaning, like how Dawn's like how being a Slayer would affect her life, and everybody's like, "Hey, should we give her space or should we like go and talk to her?" And then she climbs out of the house, like, and then her realizing that like it's not her, and being okay with it. Yeah. Like she ceded that control to Amanda like so fast. She was like, "Hey, this isn't about me. This is you." And Amanda's like, "Fuck yeah, dude. I'll beat the shit out of some Harbingers." And then the Xander speech at the end got me choked up. Yeah, you know what? That's a great episode. I should have had that
I like
one.
that. I like that one. It's, I mean, I will say this. It is hard choosing episodes. It's not like it's a 10-episode season and we're picking top 2, bottom 2. It's a lot to go through, and a lot of stuff happens in these episodes. So you're like, is this a good episode? I like that part, but did I like this? It took me some time trying to rank these.
I put Storyteller on there. The Andrew episode where he's documenting everything going on. Thought it was very funny.
And that was a honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It was a fun framing device, and
I don't know if I love the stuff that happened in the episode and the ending.
I thought it was a decent ending because it forces Andrew to like come to grips with the stuff that he did, and it kind of like snaps him into reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Because he then admits to like, yeah, I just killed him. But I remember having issues at the time of like, well, the first evil was kind of manipulating him. But then it's like, oh, he knew the whole time. He just wanted to kill Jonathan for whatever reason.
You're an idiot. You're weak.
I don't know. I thought it was a fun episode, man.
In that episode, it's also the first time Andrew mentions that he doesn't think he's going to survive through the end.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So they plant that seed.
Yeah.
They said it so much that we should have knew he was going to survive.
Yeah. I thought that he was going to...
someone did mention they thought more people were going to die at the end. I did not think Giles was going to make it through this series.
Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense.
He left at one point.
I thought that like Andrew was harping so much that he was going to die. I thought there's some kind of switch was going to flip within him and he just becomes like a demon killing maniac or something. Something was going to happen aside from just like him weakly being shoved against a locker like a nerd and then just surviving.
Fuck, they really don't do anything with his like demon summoning powers at all, do they? He could have just summoned some weird, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they could have done something with Anya and being a form of vengeance demon or something. It's just,
wasted potential.
They break into the magic box for one last like raid of magic stuff. I don't know.
I missed
the
magic box. That set was so nice.
Yeah. It was a good transition from not having a library to finally having like a magic shop. Origin place. Let's see. What is another one that I like? You know what? I know this was a little controversial, but I kind of bumped it up a little bit because I was getting it confused with Empty Places. But I kind of like Dirty Girls a little bit.
The introduction of Caleb.
Faith returning. Andrew's montage talking about Faith's story to the Slayers was fun with the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Then you get the vineyard fight. Xander loses his eye.
Stakes.
It's something.
There's stakes.
There's something, yeah.
People are dying.
There's stakes there.
Yeah, I could see that one. It does have like other consequences for the further episodes.
Yeah.
I had Help, the Cassie Newton episode, which kind of like touches on the fact.
As your favorite?
Yeah, I like that one. I like the theme of that one.
It's not bad.
The theme of it of just like Buffy can't save everyone because Cassie's like, I'm just going to die. And then Buffy saves her like 3 times within 2 minutes. And then she still ends up dying. And Buffy's like, fuck. Oh, fuck, man. It's just like the inevitability of that bad thing happening. Like, because Cassie was about to get sacrificed by the home improvement guy. Then as they're walking out, they trigger that bow and arrow, and Buffy catches it. And then Cassie just has like a fucking aneurysm or something. Like,
yeah. That theme doesn't... Buffy has this thing where she keeps saying, I can't save the potentials, but she's like trying to convince herself that. Yeah. But you would think this episode would have helped convince her. There's not a lot going forward with this, like, I can't save everyone when you get to the ending.
Like, I think that this one also set up that Spike, she'll tell you one day thing, which it's like, oh, I'm waiting for that to happen. Like, it didn't pay off in my mind. I don't think it was a satisfactory payoff.
It is the first time a show used Google them.
No.
So that's
there
something.
You go. It's a history-making episode. That's a big reason why I love it.
Yeah.
What else do you got?
I had a couple other ones on here, but I want to say I had this in honorable mention, but I really like it. The him episode.
That was my last one that I got with the magic jacket.
The magic jacket. It's just, you get Bazooka Buffy, you get that little like 4-quadrant shot of Anya and everybody fall in love with them, and Willow's going to turn him into a girl.
Yeah.
And just Buffy being real sexually aggressive at school, and Xander having to like, hey, chill out, Buffy.
Yeah, and then the plan to thwart the magic jacket is just run up on him and take his jacket.
Take it. And I love that he doesn't know that the jacket is him and his brother don't realize the jacket has a superpower.
Yeah. Now, there are some inconsistencies in how the magic jacket works through the episode. Absolutely. But it's still a fun time.
But then you get Dawn versus like Buffy, you know, and then Dawn pushes a kid down the steps. Like that was
it was also like Dawn was like, I can't compete with any of these people, so I'm just going to kill myself. Like, it got dark as fuck, dude.
Oh my God, that train ending was... This season has a lot of suicide talk in it.
Oh, yeah. Because everybody thought that Cassie Newton was going to kill herself because of her dark poetry.
They thought Cassie was going to kill herself, but only Chloe was...
weak and stupid enough to do it.
Yeah. It's just I'll never get over that. Get the knife. Dawn, get a knife.
Well, that's all I've got. You got any other honorable mentions for favorite episodes?
I threw Showtime in there just for the Thunderdome. That's not terrible. Yeah. The Thunderdome episode's not bad. They used a mind thing. First Date I didn't fully hate either.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's when P Wood reveals that he's the son of a Slayer, and that we find out Spike killed his mom. That has some stuff in there.
Definitely.
And then that's when the Shanti shows up and is also opening the seal.
Oh, don't get me started on this fucking seal,
because any demon can open a seal. Seems like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what did our listeners rate as their favorite episodes of season 7?
All right. We have Conversations with Dead People. Of course. Clear favorite.
Yes. I think it won an Emmy.
It should have. It's great. I don't know who got the writing credit for that, but I know a bunch of writers did each of the scenes separately. And I mean, that always happens with shows. Yeah. It's not just one person writing a show, an episode. Chosen was number 2.
All right.
People seem to like Chosen. Yeah. It's fine. It got them. Cool. It hit the emotionals.
Dude,
it hit the emotions.
Tata's for now cried her little baby eyes out at the Barbie movie. Even just bringing up that scene with all the montage and everything makes her cry. So I get it.
It always reminds me of, like, I've worked on like some commercials, and it's just like these holiday ones, and it's like someone getting a gift, and it's just like no dialogue and just like the music, and then the smiles and the slow-mo, and it always gets you. It's easy to manipulate. I mean, all film is manipulation. Action movies, when it's like like it's all manipulation.
Look, dude, and I'm not immune to it.
But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. No, we're
not
none of us are.
Yeah. I fucking get emotional every single time that Captain America lifts Mjolnir in Avengers Endgame. And then Thor goes, yes, I knew it, or whatever. I fucking get emotional about it. Yeah. That's just the guy version.
And that's a payoff of a long, it's a payoff of a long arc of it. I just wish it would have been, I brought this up in the finale. I just wish sometimes they would cut to characters from the main story instead of montages of random people. It's like you have a room full of women here and you just cut to random girls across the world. Just cut to the main characters of the story.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't make any sense if someone else grabbed the hammer.
Well, it's supposed to represent all
the women
in the world. You know, you're watching at home, you can be a Slayer too.
Yeah, but that's the same. But like, you just want to be the one hero. That's what Buffy represents. You watch Buffy, you think you could be a hero.
Yeah.
You watch Willow, you think you could be a hero. Dawn is fighting the fight without powers. Whatever.
People love that episode.
Storyteller's number 3. Storyteller's number 3. Storyteller made number 3. Lies My Parents Told Me was 4th.
Okay.
And I know it was top 3, but we're going through the numbers. And Him was number 5.
Okay. Yeah, the only one that we really didn't talk about was Lies My Parents Told Me, but I'll talk a little bit more about that episode in a little later segment.
Yeah. It's tricky. That's a tricky one. Lies My Parents Told Me is the one where they pull the trick to get Principal Wood
and Giles conspire to kill Spike, and we get the Spike flashbacks of like his origin, and we see like what's going on, and then Principal Wood takes him to the sanctuary or whatever, and
his little woodworking shop where he just makes crucifixes.
Oh man! All right, so what should our next segment be that we tackle here?
Let's do. Do you want to do villains or moments?
Let's do villains. I have a lot of moments to discuss.
Yeah, I know. Let's do the moments later. Yeah.
All right. Are we going least favorite or favorite first?
Let's go least favorite.
Okay, least favorite. I think we all know. The First Evil.
Yeah.
The First Evil fucking sucked.
A question.
I think that we've made several arguments that we would be better First Evil than the First Evil in this show.
Absolutely.
How do you?
I could do more damage as myself in Sunnydale.
How do you not mess with them while they're all having sex? That's a layup, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's a layup.
She's like, well, they're having sex. I guess I have to fake give power / have sex with Caleb.
Yeah, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah.
First Evil. And it sucks that it's like that's the last big bad. Like that sucks. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, First Evil sucked terrible. I put the Turok Khan, especially by the end.
As least favorite. Yeah. I had the Turok Khans in the finale because they get completely nerfed. Yeah. And our boy Joe Dean wrote down or shared the like commentary for the finale, and Whedon was like, hey, yeah, I took them down their power because I cared more about the emotion of the scene than the like logic of that. And for me, I understand that, but because of what I've just watched for 21 episodes, it took me out of the emotion.
Yeah, fair enough. I also thought that
we have had episodes worth of like Terracon. This one Terracon is like, how do we stop it? Willow, can your powers hold it back just long enough that I can fight it? And then we get to the end, and then all of them are just like easy to kill, to the point where Dawn and Anya are just like slashing them.
Yeah.
And that takes me out of it. That takes me out of the threat.
But dude, you have to also realize, like, even before when like everyone's just killing the Turok Khan left and right and Chosen, that episode where Willow is holding it back with the thing and it's doing that like scratching at the barrier.
You hated it.
I hated that. And then you see him in the light and he's just got like that leather vest on. Like the design of the Turok Khan sucked. And I just
they didn't have great fashion back in the day.
They weren't like the
Spike and Angel. They weren't the Spike and Angel fancy dressing. No one has Principal Wood's mom's jacket. Put that jacket on a Turok, and you're like, all right, I get it.
I distinctly remember the first appearance of the Turok Khan, and we both were like, is that it? That's it? It's another vampire?
Cut
okay.
Cut his head off. Cut his head off.
Yeah, and like, they had the whole Showtime thing, Tarakan. But then, like, I thought the design...
Buffy was getting worked in that fight. Fight.
Honestly, I feel like she kind of got lucky. But the design of it sucked. By the end of it, like, when it was walking up to the Summers house, I remember both of us being like, no, I don't take this Tarakan seriously anymore. And then it gets in and it's scratching at the Willow's barrier. And we're like, no, it sucked.
I'm different. I like the first one. I'll give a little bit of credit to. The last ones. Yeah. The last ones are just like pushovers.
Okay. You got any other? What do you got?
I have the high school basement spirits.
Oh yeah, those guys stunk.
Yeah.
They didn't do shit, dude.
And I just wasn't.
And just Buffy just flippantly like, I don't care about your problems. Where's my sister?
Yeah.
I put Lissa on the list too. Ashanti.
Oh, Ashanti. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot. I mean, nothing happened. Interesting cameo for the season. Like interesting cameo.
She was so ineffective. Like, she tied Xander up, but like, she didn't get to unleash a Tarakan, which was enough.
Well, his hand came out. Which Principal made us question the finale.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we don't see that, I don't question the finale as much. Yeah. Like, one sliver came up and a hand came through it. Like, there was no staircase.
But then Principal Wood just like shakes it off. It's like, get off me, bitch. But like,
that thing should have ripped his leg off.
But like, Lissa then just gets beheaded super quick. And like, in that scene, what we fear isn't Lissa. It's the Tarakan coming up from under the thing.
Yeah.
So
at the end, they're not scary at all.
They should have just let it up.
Yeah.
Oh, are you one of those weak ones? All right, yeah, come on up.
Yeah, are you one of the weak ones or the strong one? Or one of the three that came out of nowhere that we don't understand where they came from? Honorable mention for me is Amy the Rat. Like, the power to turn her into Willow was interesting, to curse her with that. But then she's just gone after that. She doesn't follow up, doesn't care.
She might as well just stay a rat.
I don't know if she was living more peacefully as a rat or not, because she came out and she just had a lot of like, how are you better than me? I'm addicted to magic that is now a drug.
Yeah, dude. She didn't know how good she had it in that little cage, sipping on some little water from a little lick thing and munching on some rat flakes.
Yes. All right, let's see. So on the poll, the worst villains, people have the first evil.
Of course. Yeah.
Evil spirits in the high school basement.
Right, you nailed that one.
And Peter, the high school cult home improvement guy.
I could see that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
All right. Favorite villains, positivity. I think we're going to have the three probably same ones.
It might. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you put Webs, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
definitely Gnarl.
Yeah, Gnarl is absolutely number one. Gnarl's my number one.
I knew that as soon as I saw him.
Yeah, dude, that's episode like 3 of the season.
Yeah, I highlighted that in green in my notes, and it just
he ruled. He was great. Number 2 is where I got Webs.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Like, Webs is a villain, but I'm not sure where I put him as a villain. So I put him as he's definitely a favorite character.
Yeah.
I put him as an honorable mention for favorite villain for me. But
who do you have at number 2 then?
I wrote the him jacket. That jacket caused so much. That jacket caused more chaos than the first evil.
Yeah, you know what? It absolutely did.
They were about to kill each other.
Yeah.
Just make a bunch of those jackets and throw it on people, first evil. That jacket was so OP. They had to burn it. They had to burn that shit.
Yeah, like the Xander also was like, I tried it on, it was too small.
And Anya robbed a bank.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's hilarious too? Like, I'll talk about that. I'll say that.
Okay.
So I had Caleb as number 3.
Okay. Now, my number 3 is kind of a toss-up between DeHoffrin and Caleb.
Okay.
And it's for the reasons that D'Hoffryn did a cool thing that's a part of his favorite sleigh. And he's powerful and he's dark and he's like demented. And you know what I mean? Like he's a good vengeance pimp. Yeah. He's a good vengeance demon pimp.
Yeah. He's also just like, he's kind of in that same like affable evil type of thing. Like he shows up to the wedding and like he's around.
Yeah.
But then he gets like
I
dark.
like the evil affable. Yeah. Yeah. Like you're still evil, but you could still just like be around for one day, you know, and just chill out. You don't have to be evil 24/7.
Yeah.
Causing chaos. And Caleb was a toss up for me because as much as when he came onto the scene, I was like, yes. The final images of him and the final, like, this is how he gets his powers and this is how he just goes away. Just, it was like he was great and then he started getting lamer and lamer.
Fair enough. You know?
So that's why it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And D'Hoffryn has the same thing where he gets lamer and lamer as after that scene too.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm going to tie them as my 3 because they kind of fizzle out.
All right. That's good logic. I appreciate that. Yeah, I liked Caleb. I thought that he brought something interesting. I thought that they could have utilized him more and fleshed out his character more. And like,
too bad he was working on a different show.
And he was actually killing people. Like he made some impact on the group.
Yes.
So for that alone, Caleb has to get some kind of mention. Like, you know, the first evil. But it started sucking when all of his scenes were just him walking around the vineyard, like lecturing.
Talking to Buffy. Talking to Buffy.
I was just like, ugh.
So the favorite villains on the listener poll, we got Gnarl.
Hell yeah.
Obviously. Caleb.
Okay. Number 2.
Makes sense. Yep. And then Webbs.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
we're not too far off.
It makes sense. Yeah.
I really liked Webbs, man.
It was just great. I mean, the scenes were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just good stuff.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting. Go to your happy place for a happy price with Priceline's Black Friday sale. Save now and travel later with our best deals of the year.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
We have to do this now.
Yes.
We asked a question on the polls. Favorite potentials, least favorite potentials.
This is brutal.
Why? Why'd you say it's brutal?
I mean, I'm looking at the pie chart for least favorite potential.
Oh, do you want to do least favorite first?
I'm looking at the pie chart.
Because I didn't make my list, but I'll just comment.
Yeah,
off
I
of
didn't
this.
make a list for this either.
Yeah.
In a landslide.
Kennedy gets 69.3% of the vote as the least favorite.
Oh, man.
And it's almost, I think the potentials get ranked by screen time almost. The more screen time you get, the least likable you probably are.
I don't know, because Amanda had that whole episode.
Kennedy had more. Yeah, but Kennedy still has more total run.
Yeah. Again, look, I don't get it.
I
think she's just
we'll go through this. We'll go through this list and kind of figure out where we put people.
Okay.
Number 2, obviously, based off what we found out, Rona.
Yeah, racism.
What's the...
Oh, you got a Mexican at number 1. You got the black girl at number 2. That's all I'm saying.
And Molly's the favorite.
Yeah. The most pure white.
And Annabelle gets
Annabelle's number
like
3.
The third least favorite.
Dude,
yeah,
Annabelle sucked.
She didn't last long.
Yeah.
And then in the favorite, we have Amanda.
No, white. Oh, interesting. The most white, freckly motherfucker.
Number 2, though, Chow Ann.
Oh, interesting developments. Okay.
Ooh, throwing you.
All right.
And then number 3, Vi.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, I feel like you can't even really say much about what Vi is or what she does. Like, the only...
She's slapping the shit out of Rhoda at the end. How could she not be?
Oh, yeah, that's probably why. The only thing that she really brought to the table is, like, she's the first potential to be like, I've seen a vampire in a picture because my watcher... It's like she's a potential and she had a watcher. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah. Well, potentials had watchers like Kendra.
I guess.
Kendra had a pre-watcher. And Robson was watching a
oh,
girl
you're
who was
right.
a
Yeah.
potential. Yeah. No, that's there. It's just I don't know I don't know what makes someone a potential.
Yeah.
But again, don't think about it. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, and then Vi gets to say, like, you guys are so dead at the end.
Is that Vi who says that? Not
Yeah.
Amanda. Is it Vi? In Joe Dean's thing, it mentioned that Joss Whedon wanted to have Amanda playing Dungeons and Dragons in that scene so that it would hit harder when she died.
All right.
I was like, I don't know if that...
Honestly, I barely I watched that episode twice. I barely recognized that it was Amanda that died.
Well, I remember in the finale episode, I mentioned, and I guess that affected Buffy because she was closest to her. Like, Buffy's not playing D&D with them.
Mm-mm.
And none of the people playing D&D are in the Hellmouth. So...
Buffy gave her some
person dying
student counseling twice.
Like, I feel like if Buffy saw like Kennedy did, it would be something.
Oh, the fandom would rejoice.
Because she interacted. The fandom would rejoice, but then we would have to worry about Dark Willow, so they couldn't kill her, you know? Because Willow's like, my girlfriend again.
Oh, my goddess.
You're a goddess and you're a slayer. Now take this weapon and give it to Buffy.
I gotta lay in my orgasmic bliss. My nether regions got tickled once
Nifty.
again.
But who would your favorite?
I mean, Amanda was a lot of fun.
I think Amanda's probably my favorite. She doesn't get enough shine, but I liked how unhinged she was.
Yeah,
though.
she was like a bully. Like, it was hilarious.
Yeah. She was like, she knew she had some power in her. You got to harness that. Like, I do think she has the potential to go off the rails like a Faith.
And like, when Dawn gives up the potential stuff to give it to her, she just takes it and runs, man. She takes that baton and she killed like 3 Harbingers like real quick.
Yeah. I liked Amanda. So I understand Amanda being a favorite. Chow Ann they use for comic relief enough, so she's harmless.
I mean,
Vi people like Felicity Day.
Honestly, for me, if I were doing this list, Rona would be on one of my favorites.
I think Rona gets a bad rap because she's the one calling out the obvious like inconsistencies of the plan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing she's saying isn't wrong.
Dude, I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm fine with Kennedy being a least favorite. She's aggressive with Willow.
Okay, yeah.
She's a little, and she admits she's a brat, and it's like sometimes her vibe is just not great. Again, with all of this, my thing with the potentials, they're all a big nothing to me.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to
in the whole thing, I just don't care enough about them to have like really strong feelings.
That's how I felt about Kennedy. Like, she's like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I hate her, 10 being I love her. Like, she is a 5. She is nothing to me.
She's a little annoying in touch, though. That's what I didn't like her.
Now, I will say, if I had to pick a least favorite potential, I'd go Annabelle because she's just a absolute fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
Like, what an idiot.
How did she become a potential?
No idea.
What made her a potential?
Like,
yeah,
to just go running out of nothing, out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't even hinted that like maybe the first evil was manipulating her or anything. It was just like she just went running.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Do you want to do favorite podcast episodes, or would you like to take this time for your fashion corner?
Fashion corner is going to be real quick. All right.
Okay,
fashion
let's do
corner
that.
is going to be real quick.
Yeah, you want to say yours, or you want to go off the list?
Yeah, I'll
Or do
go
you wanna
off
play
of this
the
list because I find
Okay.
this list to be bullshit. And I think people just vote in order to like piss me off on this. Just trying to get under my skin with their
All right.
rankings of the fashion on this stuff. So people voted that Buffy was the best dressed and that Anya was number 2. And then Spike is number 3. The guy who wears the same shit every episode, I don't even consider him anymore.
Beginning this season, he was wearing his blue shirt
he did have
and
that.
eating rats in the basement.
He did have that fucking blue shirt. Yeah. There was a couple episodes where he had like an army green colored like olive shirt, which was fine. Like he was trying different stuff. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. And he thought he was going on dates with girls, I
Oh.
guess, at some point.
Dude.
What did he think was happening to him?
Yeah. Yeah, and like even he admits like I tried to do something new. The blue shirt's not working, and he takes it off or whatever.
Mhm. Oh, he gets the jacket back.
Dude. And the
That scene is so forced. That scene's so forced when he walks past Principal Wood, who's in the school for some reason. Did he give him a ride to school? Why are you there?
No idea. And also, dude, like, can I be straight up with you? That jacket isn't even that great. It's not that great.
Yeah.
It's got weird lapels. It's long leather. But anyway, all right. Who we have for worst dressed? Giles. I could see an argument for it. Number 2, we got Willow, which is always a popular pick because she dresses like a fucking idiot. So fair enough. And number 3, Xander. I found Xander to be very inoffensive this season. Like he's just wearing plaid button downs or like plain t-shirts. And then there's that one time where he had like a boxy suit. So for worst dressed, I've got Willow on my list, which is a consistent throughout the series. That makes sense. But for this season, I put Anya on worst dressed. They were doing some weird things with Anya. You know, they were really leaning into that 1950s kind of housewife thing with a lot of cardigans, a lot of weird like poodle skirt type of shit that I was not a fan of. Didn't enjoy it at all. Best dressed, I put Dawn on there. Dawn took a big step up. She abandoned all of her glittery bullshit that she was wearing in 5, a little bit less of it in 6. This season seems like she's more mature now, dressing more like an adult. I dug it. And I also had Xander on my best dress list because he stuck to the basics, which is something that I harp on very much on Joe's Fashion Report /corner. If you stick to the basics, can't really go wrong. He had that boxy suit, but that was just suits, man. Nobody went to a fucking tailor then. There was no slim fitting shit.
No.
It was just boxy suits. So I can't really fault him too hard for that. So that's where I stand on this best dressed, worst dressed thing. Now, Buffy being the best dressed, people are just trying to rile me up. People have been waiting and hoping and praying that I would put her as a best dressed person, but she wears too many goofy fucking little bread hats this season for me to put best dressed. She wears these goofy fucking hats, dude, that nobody ever wore. And then when she went on the date with Principal Wood, she wore that long ass mesh trench like coat thing underneath of her leather jacket. No, it's bad, dude. Even Tatas for Now, when I showed her that outfit, she was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, yeah, that's what Buffy does. That's what she wears when she's fighting vampires. I know that she wasn't planning on fighting vampires that night, but
you gotta
if you're
dress like
walking
you're
around
fighting vampires.
dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're fucking walking around Sunnydale, you know something's going to happen.
She has never dressed like she's going to fight vampires, regardless, though.
Fair enough.
Like that is not her thing. And I get it. It's a TV show. You gotta have fashion that you can sell to the tweens.
Yeah, and like the thing that she's wearing on the last episode where she's fighting the thousands of Turakans, and she's just got like a blazer on. Like she looks like like what are you doing, dude?
It was interesting they went with that kind of like white but not white, off-white beige kind of color like they were trying to do with the end of season 5.
Yeah. Not a fan. And she was wearing like heels, sticking with her like a little boot heel thing. Just God.
Have you ever been kicked with one of those, Joe? I mean, it really hurts a vampire.
Oh, I bet it would. It was a pretty pointy toe. So if she put a little wood on there,
it's perfect traction in the hellmouth. It gives you perfect traction
to climb the stairs down to the hellmouth and then climb up. But yeah, that's the fashion report segment. Right. I won't spend too much time on it because they got a whole fucking Patreon thing on it.
Here's a question that I did pose on the Discord or on the poll, the listener poll. Is being a Slayer a gift or a curse?
It is absolutely one of them. I don't know.
So way to hedge your bets. It's going to be one of them.
It's absolutely one of those two things.
I expected more of a 50-50 split, but we have a 68.1 to 31.9 split of it being a curse rather than a gift. Now, there has been a Discord caveat of being like the nuance of the question. Is it a curse to be the Slayer or a curse or a gift being a Slayer? You know?
Oh, so like they're taking into account now that there's like many Slayers?
Stuff. Yeah.
I think it'd still be a curse.
It's still a curse, I think. I think it's tricky because I would want Slayer powers if I lived in the Buffy verse. But I wouldn't want to be a Slayer.
Yeah, you know what? Now it is a gift because then I have the choice. Even Buffy didn't have a choice. Like, she's the chosen one, but like she could have just fucked off.
She could have fucked off. Faith did.
Yeah.
Like everybody. That's what I mean. She quit the Watchers in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She could have left Sunnydale if she wanted to.
Yeah. Like everybody's acting like, oh, now that Buffy has like giving all the Slayer powers to all these women worldwide, they have the choice now. It's like, yeah, Buffy had a choice too. She didn't have to be a Slayer.
She didn't have to be a Slayer after she after she quit the Watchers and Giles left her.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do shit.
I mean, there's the whole like with great power comes great responsibility shit.
Which if you take that, all of these new Slayers have responsibility that they didn't have before.
Yeah.
And they also have vampires such as Spike, who love to hunt down Slayers and taste their delicious Slayer blood. They got a target on their back. They had a target on their back being a potential, and now they have a target on their back just being a... I don't think potentials had a target prior to the first Evil's plan.
Did they ever talk about how like vampires are drawn to Slayers or something like that?
They might have mumbled it sometime.
I feel like that may have been brought up at a certain point.
Well, Spike was like making that his mission to kill Slayers. And everyone seems to know Slayers. Like when certain people, they're like, oh, she's the Slayer? Or like Glory was like, oh, you're a Slayer. Like,
yeah,
demons just know about the whole Slayer thing. So,
dude, it's a gift. You don't have to be the vampire. Like Buffy didn't have to go through with any of this, but because she is a good, responsible person, she does go through with it. She complains about it a lot.
I'll lean more that it's a curse, but it's close. Because not that Buffy has to go through Slayer and do this whole alone thing herself, but just having that power is just the responsibility level. Unless you literally are given the options and told like, hey, if you take this power, this is going to do this and this is going to do that. It's like the Ring of Amara thing, you know? It's like, you know what you have with this and what could come from this. Like you have to lay out, like if Buffy's laying out like, hey, this is what my life's been like as a Slayer. It might not be like that for you, but if you choose to take this power, you might find yourself fighting some shit. But if you don't have this power, you might just end up dabbling in witchcraft and becoming more powerful than me.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Mm-hmm. If it is that evil is drawn to Slayers, then it's a curse.
Gotcha.
If that's not, then it's a gift.
I feel like this is a great question to lead to debates. And that's that's apparently what Buffy fandom is. It's just nonstop debates.
Nonstop headcanons, nonstop
the headcanons
conjecture.
are my favorite. People are like, I want to like this episode, so make this make sense.
How can I fill in the holes that the road writers have left for me?
Yeah, it's both
an interesting question.
It's an interesting question, and there's no definitive answer to it.
Yeah, I mean,
more people pick curse. Other
there are arcs of Spider-Man where he like gives up being Spider-Man,
mm-hmm.
and he's like does more like selfish stuff.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but it ultimately doesn't lead him to any place good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I just feel like it's a lot harder to have had the power and then give it up.
Mm-hmm,
it's like that's a whole different thing. Like,
fair.
Yeah. You can't be strong and then wake up and be not strong and then be like, yeah, cool with this.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. But if you were never strong, you don't have that. You have the wanting to be strong, but you never have that longing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting debate.
Mm-hmm.
I like that question. I'm glad that you put it on there.
Yeah.
What should we do next? Is it moments time? Is it best slays time?
Do you want to do? Let's do favorite podcasts, and then we'll do moments because that'll be more.
Episode.
Yeah. So, or let's go least or just okay podcast episodes because we're still
okay
because we're sensitive. We couldn't stand if someone said that they hated an episode.
Yeah.
So it's just okay podcast episodes.
It's just okay.
Don't
kill our egos, everybody.
Yes. Frail male egos. Fragile male egos. Okay. Just okay ones. We got number 1, End of Days.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we were very negative on that episode, or at least I was.
Yeah. It's always interesting because this could rate it one of the least favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's always tricky. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
The next one was The Killer and Me.
Okay. All right.
Then the other ones that were really close were Beneath You and Lessons. And those are
I don't even remember what Beneath You is.
Beneath You is the one at the school. It's the second episode of the season.
Okay.
It's I had to look it up too. I was like, I honestly just did not like the Beneath You it devours thing from the first half of the season. Or like they kept saying, Beneath You is the worm. Vengeance demon Anya creates a worm vengeance demon.
Oh.
And Xander has that girl that he's helping who seemed like she was going to be a newcomer for the show.
Yeah, I could see how that would be a Just Okay podcast episode because it did not stick in my memory whatsoever.
It's been weeks. It's been like 20 weeks. So
that's true, yeah.
Yeah. And Lessons was
surprised,
the first episode.
I'm surprised about End of Days, though. I feel like the things that I saw on Discord about our podcast on it was just like, yeah, I can't really argue with that.
I don't know. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
So, favorite podcast episodes, like obvious front runner, Conversations with Dead People.
Yeah.
I think people just were happy we were so on board with it.
I feel like people just like when we like the episodes.
Yeah.
They want to have their biases confirmed.
Number 2, that's people in general.
Yeah.
And number 2, him.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that was a fun time.
Yeah, I had a fun time. I mean, it's hard for us because we do the podcast, but I don't remember all the like little bits or anything that happened. Like sometimes some episodes you're like, oh, I remember when we did that, but
yeah,
I don't remember exactly what we said that was so interesting in him, but I like the interesting stuff in him. And then Storyteller was number 3.
All right.
Yeah. I think
they like when we do the fun ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Conversation with Dead People, which is just an absolute banger of an episode.
Yeah. I'm just like, whatever episode you have the most impressions in and the most tangents, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, End of Days, there's a lot of impressions.
Yeah.
And Caleb.
That was definitely something that made the favorite moments of the podcast. Was,
might as well just like stick with that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a lot longer, but yeah, let's go. You want to go through those before we do our favorite moments? Yeah, let's do our favorite moments and then go into like favorite podcast moments.
Okay. Our favorite and least favorite moments.
Let's do least favorite moments.
Yeah, least favorites. Yeah. I got a lot for each of these.
Okay, just you want to just run it down?
I'll run through them. Number 1, Buffy getting kicked out of her own house.
Yep.
Definitely. Lack of payoff for the Joyce, she won't choose you. Had that on least favorite moment. I put the lack of the payoff for the I love you for Spike. I think that's just like not satisfying.
I think it's not satisfying. We talked about it, but it's just it's what I don't think Cassie's wrong that he said it, that she was going to say it, but they wanted to have that ambiguity, so it doesn't hit like it would. I think she could say I love you, and he's like, I've always known it, and then left it. Like I do like his reply of you don't really mean it, but it kind of, I don't know. It's just tricky. It's very tricky.
Yeah. This should have been my number 1 first thing, but everything about the Guardians, the Angel crossover stuff, all of that I hated. Even like when Willow goes to Angel and doesn't tell Buffy like what she's doing. I didn't like the Giles might be the first evil payoff / how did he not die from that axe to his head?
It's like that
mislead was crazy.
It's like the bomb mislead. It's like, oh shit.
There's so many of those misleads that are nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, the next thing is so many mysteries set up and the payoffs being horrible. Spike not giving P-Dubs the coat. Just give him the fucking coat, dude. Like, come on. Buffy calling Chloe weak and stupid for killing herself. And finally, how Spike was constantly defended by Buffy when he obviously was evil and killing people.
Yes. I didn't like there not being a Spike Drusilla closure somewhere in the middle of the season to like kind of get that done. I don't love the Hoffman not getting vengeance on Anya. He was putting a hitman out, and like we keep seeing hitmen come after her twice, and then she just gets an unceremonious death. That I wasn't a huge fan of. Obviously not clear if Joyce is the Joyce not being the first evil thing that you mentioned. First evil in general. That sucks. That's my least favorite. Everything. Let's see. Least favorite moment. Obviously Buffy getting kicked out. The Guardian exposition and then just death. Like, if it happened earlier or if it wasn't as important, if it was exposition for some random monster of the week and then they get their next snap, that's funny. When it's like the history of Slayers.
Yes.
And it happens, it's like too big of a exposition for that death to
matter
for me.
And the weapon that they created playing such a pivotal role in the end.
It's like, wait, what are these Guardians? Like, I need to find out what that is. It's like, no, I'm not reading 3 comic books to like find the legend of that. Kennedy and Willow's fairy tale kiss. Not a fan of that. Just I understand what they tried to do, but it didn't work for me. Xander and Faith not having a scene together all season.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote to myself, did they just not get along? But I don't think that's the case. Like, they're in rooms together. They just never say a word to each other.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Also, he doesn't have a quippy line and she pushes back, or vice versa. She doesn't tell him to shut up once or anything. Like, it is insane that they don't have one scene. That's my issue with like focusing on the core group, the people that have the history. Instead, we're like, oh my God, what is Xiao An doing? Like, no, Faith and Xander are in a room together. Just insane to me.
I wish that I would have put that on there because that is crazy.
Insane. 22 episodes.
Yeah.
She's in it for like 5 episodes. Nothing. Principal Wood gets full arc with her.
Yeah.
And then Xander's potential sex dream, quote unquote, fantasy. Just unnecessary. Just unnecessary.
Yeah. What? That's from one of your favorite episodes, Dirty Girls.
Yeah, I mean, take that out of it, though. Yeah. It came right after Caleb saying the worst shit ever. And then we get like the good guy of the show doing weird fantasy. Ugh. Yeah. No.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
So for my favorite moments, a lot of this has to do with my least favorite moments. There's a lot of caveats here. So one of my favorite moments was the mystery of Giles being the first evil. Like trying to figure out, like I picked up on this before like the show even did. I was like, he's not touching anything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then the payoff for it was like bullshit. But I liked the initial mystery of it.
Yeah, exactly. I had a hard time putting it as my least favorite because I liked the idea of it, but then you find out, one, you faked his death to do this little mystery thing, but then it's like none of it really mattered. And then you're like, it kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
Like if he was the first evil, that would just be very interesting. And it would make the first evil more like planned better. It would make the first evil look smarter. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I also coupled with like my least favorite moment of how Spike was constantly defended. Favorite moment, Rona calling Buffy out for constantly defending Spike.
Yes, exactly.
Loved that.
Yeah.
And to go along with that, Andrew asking very nitpicky questions about like everything about the lore of the show. I thought that was very funny. And just like him getting like, shut up, Andrew.
I like that. I didn't like when Anya would be like, yeah, the Dawn having the same blood as Buffy. I didn't really understand that. And I'm like, no, don't make fun of the thing.
Don't confirm our suspicions.
Yeah. Don't make fun of the thing that was a whole plot line.
Okay, but away from like the coupled ones, Principal Wood fighting Spike in the sanctuary, thought that was badass. The reveal of Principal Wood being Nikki Wood's son, I thought that was like a very good reveal but then again, like the whole lead up to that was like, is Principal Wood evil? And him acting very evil for no reason at certain points.
I like the way things play out. What that line he said, it was like, I like mysteries because I like the way they play out. Why? I'm like, why are you being sinister if you know that like, she's a slayer?
Creepily laughing while his back is turned to her and then like spying on her from his office. Like
such a forced mislead.
Yeah. Another favorite, obviously, is Xander's speech to Dawn about being ordinary. Another highlight for me, Dawn not being so annoying. Everything Webb's in Buffy. Loved it. Xander getting an eye patch. Big fan.
You got it, yeah.
Faith having now an understanding of how alone Buffy felt as the leader.
That was a good scene.
That was great. And that's all I got for my favorite moments here. I thought that there was some really strong shit.
Yeah. Favorite moments, just Webb's Buffy conversation. That just goes in there. Buffy with the bazooka. Just funny visual.
Yeah.
Xander obviously telling Dawn he sees her. That was great. I like the moment of Spike proving he fixed his trigger and then he's still gonna kill Principal Wood. That was like, oh yeah. I really wish he would have. That's what, if he would have killed him, it would have been just so interesting that I don't know how Buffy continues to defend him at that point, which would have been really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Andrew narrating the story of Buffy, Spike, and Anya in Storyteller. That was great. I like that more than We Are As Gods, you know.
Yeah. We Are As Gods was funny, but...
It's funny, but yeah. Anytime we got a chance to see the mayor, I love seeing him again. That was worth it. And Clem making it out of Sunnydale alive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Clem is the best.
Just a
Clem
bright
is the
spot.
best. Yeah. Love that guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we do you have slays? Because I think
I have a couple slays.
Yeah, let's do some slays and then we can dive really into the...
Yeah. Now, I didn't like what happened before or after it, but I loved Buffy chopping Caleb in half from the balls.
Yeah, that's Buffy killing Caleb is on top of my my slay of the season.
Just the act of that is so epic.
Oh god, so gross.
But like it's sandwiched between the angel kiss and then her going, he had to split.
Yeah. It's a tonal mess.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But the act of splitting him in half from his balls to the top, it's great. Yeah. Even like when Angel immediately gets up. Where's he at? Let me at him. And like, it just is so awkward and weird. But then like Buffy looking down to the left and to the right to signify that like, oh, dude, he got cut in half. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
I also have Caleb killing a bunch of potentials in that first fight against them. I thought that was like, oh, this is now a threat to be reckoned with, and like poking Xander's eye out. Like that shows, oh, he's not fucking around. All right. I thought that was pretty damn good. And I also gotta say, when Spike tells Principal Wood, "I don't give a piss about your mom," like that was hard, dude.
Yeah.
Hard. But also, I loved when Principal was beating Spike's ass, and then he rips the coat off of him.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But
Give me that.
Why couldn't he have gotten the fucking coat?
Give me that shit. Oh, I think we know why he couldn't get the coat. Yeah. You got any more?
But yeah, that's basically what I've. And then also Spike and Xander tackling the guy from him and stealing his jacket.
I
don't really know. That's not really a sleigh, but that's. Yeah. I thought it ended his plan.
All right, I got a couple.
Okay.
I'll give the Thunderdome kill a little honorable mention here.
Yeah, the little beheading.
Yeah.
Little beheading.
Yeah, just a small. It was just a light beheading. You know, just a light beheading. Blowing up Sunnydale. Got to put that there. Slayed a whole city. It's whether you like it or not, they blew up the whole town. Buffy, Caleb,
we saved the city, Patrick.
Xander's eye thing was gruesome, but I got to give Caleb props for the one-armed potential neck snap.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Here's something that it didn't make the villain list, but Buffy throwing the sword into the tree to kill that spider demon. That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
When she was just like looking up into the sun at it. Yeah. I think it's there.
After stepping over some dead bodies that it just killed. Heartless. Anya's deaths, both of them, when she got stabbed in the frat house was cool.
Yeah.
And then when Buffy stabbed in the frat house was cool. And then her getting like sliced almost in half was shocking. That was crazy.
Just very unceremonious too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Just more people need to see. I don't know. And I will say, one of my favorite moments, the Hoffman killing Halfrek. Yeah. That's what made him a badass. That's real vengeance demon shit right there.
He's a heartless motherfucker.
Yeah.
But then he hires hitmen that are so ineffective for like 2 episodes.
I know. Just hire your vengeance demon crew and have them turn on. I don't know.
Or just you do it.
Or you know what? Cut that whole thread out, since it doesn't pay off. We don't need her being attacked twice by random people.
Or have him. I mean, if you really want to fuck with Anya, kill Xander.
He killed Halfrek. That's it. That's the end of it. She had to deal with that. She felt some vengeance or whatever. I mean, the hitman stuff just doesn't work.
All right. Those are the best slays.
Yeah. So I guess let's go back to this poll, right? Podcast moments?
Sure.
All right. There are a lot of favorite podcast moments. So I'll just kind of like go through them. We're not going to get to all of them. We have read all of them, but we're not going to be able to like just repeat all of them here. So
yeah,
a lot of them are Joe's impressions. A lot of shout outs for Joe's impressions.
Wicked good impressions, dude.
And people enjoyed hearing us talk about Spike's jacket. Someone mentioned that they loved us pointing out that Buffy quit being a Slayer like 6 times during Lies My Parents Told Me. We brought this up, but people like the "so we vote" bit.
Oh, so we vote. We only got to play with that one for like a couple episodes.
Just so we vote. There's there was joking about Dawn really getting her eye poked out in the first episode when she gets that pencil stabbed in her eye. And you said, oh, I don't fuck with eye shit. And talking about eye patches. Yeah. And people knowing what happens to Xander later just like fueled their joy.
Oh, yeah.
Us discovering that people don't like Kennedy and Rona.
Again, I still am like, okay, I don't get it.
They're just like so nothing most of the time that it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
The Fresh Prince parody that you did.
Oh, yeah. Got one little fight. Go with your auntie and Uncle and Sunnydale.
Somehow Vance is horny Buffy. I don't remember that bit exactly.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah. This one's really funny. I do remember saying this when we were going on a tangent about how Tara would chide Willow for using magic all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then apparently I said, you have to wash the dishes by hand, Willow. Because the dishwasher's magic. Oh, man. They like us calling Principal Wood P-Dub. Any gag.
Oh, thank God.
You remind me of your mom. Bringing up fry water is always a classic.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably like the top. Yeah.
I feel like there was like 3 of them this season.
Yeah, we sprinkled them in. They were all organic too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're talking about an air fryer.
Yeah.
The water weight thing.
Water weight. People like the bit with Johnny and Todd does at the beginning of Chosen. And it's not
girls watching Buffy?
It's not a bit. They were really taking over the mic and we had to kick them out.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that was very rude of them.
Very rude.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
They thought they could just do that.
You know why they thought they could do that? Because they watched the finale episode and it empowered them to think they could just take over.
See, this is the negatives of female empowerment.
You've been listening to Boys Watching Buffy.
That was Joe Welke speaking. I feel like that's one of my favorite consistent bits is when I say something fucked up and you're like, that's Joe speaking.
That's Joe. I still love the dude. That's why I know you're about to get really amped up about something. Oh, someone wrote that they enjoyed the hatred for Willow's Scythe Matters joke.
Oh,
which is really ironic because one of our Instagram posts, I used the Scythe Matters as the tag.
I did a photo shoot recently with a girl that has a scythe tattoo, like that scythe tattoo. And it says underneath of it, "Are you ready to be strong?" And I was like, I finally get that now.
Oh, we have a listener on Discord that posted their tattoo and they have the scythe.
Yeah.
The scythe was a big thing. I just wish it would have been sprinkled throughout the season a little more, as opposed to...
It was sprinkled throughout a Frey comic book.
By the way, Jaffa cakes are nasty tasting.
Okay.
The realization that Giles could have just bought a damn Jaffa cake at the store.
That was so funny. Could have just got that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Dude, when you called Willow and Kennedy's bed a water bed, I fucking howled. I love that.
Detective Buffy tasting the spike dust after Xander eventually slays him. After many a night just standing over Spike's bed with a stake grappling with if he should kill Spike or not. That would have been epic if Xander... Everyone would hate Xander if he killed Spike.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would he...
Yeah,
But would he be wrong?
You can't kill that psycho-triggered murdering vampire.
If they would have killed him, he would never got a necklace that would have saved the day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that's...
It's all going according to plan. That's how I felt about that explanation.
And people like the riff. Some people, this is not everyone, but people like the riffing about Giles' alone time and Joyce's room.
Oh, yeah, with Joyce's underwear wrapped around his cock.
He's a watcher. He is a watcher.
Yeah. His, Joyce's panties wrapped around his turgid rod.
And someone liked that we still are iffy on the invitation rules after 7 seasons.
I mean, Spike did just walk into that guy's house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he had left. Saying. He had left. Buffy kicked him out. So
yeah. I guess that means mystically he doesn't own that house anymore.
And there's a positive for the evolution of the shout out voice. Very divisive. Really? Some people like it. Some people skip through it. Some people, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like, I've had like a sore, terrible throat for the last like 4 weeks, and it's not been as good. I'll be honest with you. Ever since summer's hit, like I can't get into a falsetto because I think air conditioning is affecting my throat. Oh boy,
here's your like sweet excuse already. He's just singing out of his range.
Yeah, the shout out voice has gotten a little bit not my favorite, but I can't do it for whatever reason. So sorry, everybody. I guess you like it more. So fuck yeah. All right.
Then you go back to, I got a shout out, everybody.
You got a shout out.
Let's see. What else do we have to do?
Yeah. Do we have any other things that we gotta?
We have to rank the seasons. We
could
could save that for later. Next week we're gonna go over the whole series, and next week's episode will be me and Joe just kind of talking about the whole show as a whole.
Yeah,
and just
we're gonna recap the entire series.
Yeah, we're just gonna be shooting the shit, really. I think because it's gonna be we're just gonna bring up some stuff. It's gonna be a very loose and fun episode. And then after that, we'll have a Q&A. So start getting your questions ready. And next episode, we'll post the Q&A listener poll so you guys can get some questions in. And if you don't do the questions there, you can email us. You can go on Discord. We'll get some questions. We'll have a full Q&A episode, so we'll be able to get to a lot of the questions.
Yeah.
Stuff that you guys have already debated ad nauseum on the forums of Facebook and Reddit and Discord spoiler chat. But yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I feel like next week is going to be kind of similar to this episode, but it's about the whole season or whole series rather than just season 7. So it'll be a lot of fun looking back. It's probably going to be a lot of homework for us as well. Because now we have to like really ponder this entire series. We've only
seen this series once through.
Yeah, a couple of episodes for me, I've watched twice.
Yeah.
That's about it. I think I watched Chosen twice. I watched Once More with Feeling twice. I think I watched Halloween twice. And that's it.
The most I've watched twice is, I haven't watched a full episode twice, but I have skimmed through them to pull the intro and outro clips. So that is where I sometimes see a little bit more of an episode, which is always funny when I do that. And I'm like, oh yeah, we talked about that. And that is not what happened.
Oh boy.
Do you want to rank the seasons next week or this week? Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, let's rank the seasons next week. I know that we normally do that for the recaps, but if we're doing a whole series recap, we'll do that's a little teaser for y'all.
So we did ask one more thing on the listener poll, and that was for them to suggest more movies for the Patreon.
Boys watching movies, yeah.
And I have a fun announcement to someone who made a suggestion. Someone suggested that we do the Buffy original movie.
This person is not a fan of ours, obviously.
Or they joined the podcast late because we've already done that. It is in the feed. It is in the Buffy feed. Not sure how you just search it. Just search Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I guess.
Yeah, we did that one kind of early on.
Search bonus because it'll be listed under a bonus episode.
Yeah. I think, is Johnny on that one?
Johnny is on that episode.
Yeah.
That is the first
we did that
episode that she joined us for, I believe.
Yeah. We did that one a long time ago.
Within the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So no, we did the unaired pilot also. Like I saw somebody
suggest that. Like you gotta do maybe for the rewatch.
Yeah. We started getting some rewatch stuff. Some episodes, I'll say this. Some people were like, oh, rewatch The Wish. The Wish was a big episode when we did it because of the nonsensical controversy in it. I don't think rewatching that episode is going to change anything of our opinion from that because the words will not change and dug your heels in on some semantics. So
the future Cordelia, future Cordelia theory.
That was the beginning of like definition screen captures posted on Discord. That's why when I saw the Cool Whip one, I was like, oh God, I'm having Wish flashbacks.
I think that was probably like the first big discussion that we had on Discord, because otherwise it was just like, oh, good, good episode. And then it was like the biggest debate that that got forgotten. That got swept under the rug with the fry water situation.
Yeah, I mean,
real hard.
At least we had something that got topped. You gotta improve upon yourself somehow.
Yeah, once every 3 seasons we improve upon it.
Yeah.
The rat flakes thing that stood a little bit.
I love that you didn't know it, Brett. So random. Let's see. Okay, so we'll list some of the movies that were listed here. So the original Buffy movie, we have done it. We have watched it. It is there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got a ton of Twilight.
People are thirsting for us to review Twilight.
It's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll do a countdown to Twilight one day.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be... We aren't opposed to doing it, but it's such a 4-movie undertaking.
Yeah. I've also already seen like a bunch of things making fun of it, which is going to make it hard. I don't want to like parrot a lot of stuff. I have,
but I haven't watched those in a long time. And I think watching the whole thing will be insane.
Yeah.
But we'll figure out if we're going to do... If we do that, it has to be a special run. We have to figure out some way to do that. And a way to...
It's got a lot of votes in this year, Vance.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but...
Vance is so...
I mean, it's something. I mean, we're going to do Firefly. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Jawbreaker got 3. Jawbreaker only got 1 last time, but now it's got 3. That's on now.
Oh, it's probably because we moved through a couple of...
Yeah. It's on our short list.
We've discussed that one quite a few times.
The Long Kiss Goodnight has been mentioned again for a holiday watch.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a Samuel Jackson, Julia Rob? No, it's another... I forget the actress that's in it. It's one of those Shane movies. So I've seen it like a long time ago, but not another teen movie got listed on here, which is interesting because we have been talking about doing a live watch on Discord, and we actually are going to do one of those special announcements at some point. Yeah, and we already have the movie. So we will announce that when we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I posted not another teen movie in like Jurassic World, and people didn't seem psyched for that. So, yeah. But I don't think not another teen movie would be good for a podcast because it's already spoofing itself.
Yeah. I agree.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Now I could get down with.
I've
never seen it, but
I've never seen
my
that
best
either.
buddy.
Yeah.
He had a great joke about Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, where it was like, it's about these magic pants and the girls pass it around and like it makes them magical or whatever, and it fits them all. And they're about to give it to the kind of hefty girl. And they're like, hey, you should try the pants on. They look great on all of us. And she's like, ooh, I don't know if they're going to fit me. And then they do fit her, and all the girls decide that the pants are magic. He's like, it's not that she's like not that hefty. Yeah. It's not that she's like on a diet. It's that these pants, there's no fucking way that they should have fit you unless they were magic.
And that girl goes on to be Ugly Betty and a major part of the Barbie movie.
Yep.
America Ferrera.
Oh, and Madam Web is on here. I'd fuck with that too.
How can you say I've seen too much Twilight stuff? There's been so much Madam Web stuff.
I've watched a lot of terrible Madam Web stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'd just be saying the same thing. And it also doesn't look fun bad from everything I've seen. It looks they just dubbed over the whole guy's thing. Yeah. She's All That is on here.
That's my buddy's friend, my friend with the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants joke. That's his favorite movie.
Really? It's a Shyamalan. It's a Shyamalan. He kind of wrote some of that.
Absolutely insane. The twist of the movie is that she was hot all along.
Yeah.
What a twist.
10 Things I Hate About You. I've seen that.
Now, I brought that one up when we were discussing some stuff. I've never seen it.
Okay. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog was something that we almost debated when there was a whole, hey, you guys might need to take a couple episodes off because Angel does something.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm happy we didn't derail the thing for that. But Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog has been on the list because Vi, Felicity Day is in that. That's a Whedon. Someone suggested Harvard Man, and I had to look that up. It stars
Sarah Michelle Gellar, apparently.
And Vincent Chase from Entourage.
Oh, God. Oh, man, I don't even remember that guy's name. Is it like Julian something?
Gosh, I forget. He's also in Devil Wears Prada, which was also recommended.
I see 500 Days of Summer on. I will get furious watching that movie. I watched that movie one time in college, and I was like heated about it.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder with these movie picks if people want us to watch it because we're gonna rip it apart, or watch it because they think we might like it. Because someone mentioned Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion for Joe's fashion takes. My wife loves that movie. I think I've seen parts of it. My sister
loves that movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah. Heathers. My wife liked that movie too. I watched that. It's very dark. I think it's in that Jawbreakers world. I'm just going to run through these real quick. Bedazzled, Warm Bodies, Bubba Hotep, which is interesting. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. Do Revenge. The Twister movies. I got to say, I don't think they're going to make the cut.
Yeah, I'm not really that interested in that. I've never seen them, and I
don't know if they fit the oeuvre of boys watching movies. But yeah. Get Over It.
I don't really know
I looked it up, and it's like a teen drama thing. And Blade and Class of 99.
These motherfuckers trying to ice skate up a hill or whatever he said.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate up a hill or up hills or something like that. Yeah. Blade is a vampire movie.
Well, I mean, while we're talking about boys watching movies, should we discuss what the next boys watching movie is going to be?
Is it going to be that? Because we still have to figure out when we're going to do that. We still have to see it.
I thought that we were doing that.
I'm down to do it.
I'm down to do it.
All right, we're doing it.
Should we announce it?
Announce it. As I say, Twisters doesn't fit the mold. This one is very tenuous.
Yeah. So we haven't done a movie that's like new or recent in a while. And Vance and I both had interest in seeing the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Trap, with Josh Hartnett. We were like, hey, Josh Hartnett was in The Faculty, which is our last movie. Josh Hartnett's in this one. Could be interesting. Also had an interest in seeing it. M. Night Shyamalan movies, especially more recent ones, are usually bonkers and batshit insane.
He comes up with great premise. His premises are interesting, and it's just like, is it going to pay off at the end? I think I already know the twist of this one a little bit.
Who knows, man? But we'll find out.
Okay.
And we will do a podcast about it.
Yeah.
And it will be on Patreon, hopefully.
Yes.
Unless we completely reverse course.
Do something.
And start Twilight.
Don't even give him that, like, crumb.
Vance is so opposed to Twilight.
I'm not opposed to it. It's just like when we do Twilight, we're in it. Like, as you can tell, we just did 144 episodes of Buffy with the unaired pilot and the movie. Like, we've done the whole thing. So there's no way we're watching Twilight and not just that's what's going to be Patreon forever. Yeah.
We're completionists.
Yes. So that's when we like up our prices to $20.
we create a whole Twilight tier.
Yeah.
Well, we got anything else to discuss on the recap of season 7, Vance?
No, whatever we forgot here or missed here, we'll bring up in the next episode.
Well, hell yeah. Well, that is a wrap for our season 7 recap, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and sticking with us through the entirety of this. And if you didn't stick with us through the entirety of this, you're definitely not listening to this right now. So fuck off. Hop on Discord. Join the Discord, have fun discussions. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, which is kicking off season 5. We are doing Boys Watching Movies. I've got a lot to say about this first episode of season 5.
Angel,
Joe's
man.
Fashion Report. Joe's Fashion Report /corner. Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. Email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com if you want to get a shout out. Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review. Spotify 5-star rating. Take a screenshot of it, send it in to us. We'll get us something off of that nifty little Apple or Amazon wish list. And yeah, stay tuned next time for our entire series recap of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.